Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. And in the last episode, guys, we had a bittersweet reunion with Ankita. And it was, actually, it wasn't sweet at all. It was just a bitter reunion, to say the least. We were able to track down her partner who had run off with her ship mind in the Greenway. And we found that he was actually using it on a damaged sleeper, like ourselves. But I don't know if it was like a transfer, very similar to what we did with Neoven/Navigator, or what was going on. He was obviously stressed about the whole situation, but then Ankita actually followed us to his hiding spot, and tempers flared, shots were fired, looks like her partner is dead, and the sleeper was destroyed. So we just kind of walked away from Ankita, and apparently that is going to get concluded here in a couple of turns. Actually, a lot of things are currently cooking right now for us, but we're going to go ahead and get some food. However, we can't get it from Emphasis' stall, unfortunately, because he is preparing those mushrooms that we got for him. So where do we need to go to grab some food without dice? The noodle factory? Nope. I'm trying to think where we could actually... Oh, wait a minute. I think we can go to the grill up here. Or the Gimbal Lounge. Yay, there we go. Buy a spacer meal. Much better. A little bit more expensive, but we'll have to deal with that. We also have Bliss, currently trying to get ourselves a partner, or she is. Just a lot happening right now. Alright, let's go ahead and descend. We will crash out in the repaired unit. Always input 3 cryo. And end our cycle. What do we have for dice today? Something good, hopefully. Alright, 3 out of 4. I will take that. And now we should, be ready to talk to Rabia. Was anything else going to be ready to go? Because right now, I think the only thing that we can throw dice in is over at the Greenway and for the Sidereal Bridge, which is we're almost done with. Let me head over here real quick. Yep. Everything on standby. So let's see how Rabia is feeling after the revelation from Dr. Sabine. As you enter Rabia's office, you hear voices. Is that Sabine? You push open the door. Sleeper, what good timing, Rabia calls out as you enter. I wanted to introduce you to someone. The man is standing at the center of the room, speaking quietly with Rabia. He turns as you come in. Meet Yannick. Sleeper, he nods. Been hearing good things from Rabia. He smiles an easy smile. Good to meet you. Likewise, likewise. He waves a ringed hand. Now, Rabia, where were we? Actually, Rabia places a hand on your shoulder. The sleeper was about what I wanted to talk to you about. She doesn't spare you a look. What is going on? Well, okay then. Yannick tucks his hands into his pockets. Go on. I'd like to recommend them to your ward. A tiny pause. They have shown themselves to be a capable ally here on the Spoke side, but we have more than enough to run our territories. I hear the main block is proving more difficult. Yannick leans forward, slowly. It's a mess, Rabia. He waits, his tinted glasses shimmering despite the lack of light in the unit. I can use them, he suddenly decides. Rabia smiles. Good to hear. I can immediately... Yannick cuts her off with a raised hand. 1 second. He steps one surprisingly light step closer to you. You eager to work, sleeper? What kind of work? A question. Yannick lowers his head and raises it again, as if he dropped something. Nothing new for you, he answers, not quite looking at you. You don't follow. What is he saying? Well, that concludes it, Yannick pronounces. Sleeper can come work in the ward, anytime they like. You shoot Rabia a confused look. Rabia finally glances at you for a moment, but it's so fast you almost miss it. Good. I know you'll be happy with their work, Jan. Yannick reaches out and squeezes her shoulder. Sure, Rabia, he says. Now please, he says, turning to face you. Let us old friends get back to it. He guides Rabia away, leaving you standing alone. You look to Rabia, but she's deep in conversation and so stunned and confused. You leave. New drive. Yannick's ward, low-end main deck. Patrol the Oh, Yannick's trust. Yannick is a strange character, but he seems to understand the value of hard work. You'll gain his trust with time. Alrighty. Well, we got an engage. Let's go ahead and get 100% here to start out. Factories, restaurants, surgeries, schools. The layers of the block are rich with stories and problems to solve. You're starting to learn them all. I wonder if Rabia is doing this so we get into Yannick's inner circle and find out what is really going on. I could definitely see that being, like, kind of the theme. Okay, ascend to the hub, see if there's anything else here. Oh wow, we still had Weightless Wanderer. Okay, well, let's go ahead and waste that low dice then. Yeah. Anything else that we picked up here? Kishu capsules, spacer sleeping berths. Rent a capsule. The only place to sleep on the hub. Hacked off a colony ship and welded to the ring. They are surprisingly expensive to rent. Do we want to rent? Sure. Let's just get ourselves some real estate all over this place. We're gonna need some money here soon, though. You hand over the chits and get a passkey for capsule 0451. Time to find out which of the identical berths is yours. Oh, this actually could lead to, like, a storyline. Nope, just a place to end the cycle. Still, I'll take it. Okay, descender car. I have to sneeze, and I'm trying really hard to hold it back. I think I'm doing it. So, let's travel over to the Greenway. We have got... I don't think we need any more mushrooms. We got those taken care of. Farm stacks if we want food. And we can get some money working the stacks too. We can go ahead and throw Sunlit Refuge. Let's go ahead and do some stuff here in the Greenway. Work the grow beds. That is safe. We'll go here. Hopefully get a +3. Big bucks, no whammies. Yeah. Check and see if anything else has popped up. Nope. And use our 6. and get halfway for clearing the overgrowth. Good productive day. Looks like Ankita will be willing to talk to us here in a bit, or we'll be willing to talk to her. We left a little bit upset about that whole thing, and rightfully so. And I think we're just going to go ahead and crash out. That way we have 3 hunger at the end. And we'll be in good shape. So, let's, crackers for the kitty. And end the cycle. I wonder what Sabine and Rabia's plan are, provided that they're working together. Okay, not good dice. Let's go ahead and leave the stray for right now. Oh god. Moritz. Oh, Bliss's assistant.
Hey.
A quiet voice greets you as you leave.
Sleeper, it's me.
Do I know you?
Moritz.
He pauses.
I work for Bliss.
He rubs the back of his head.
You're not an easy person to find.
I don't really have an address. Moritz holds up his hands.
Hey, no judgment, it's cool.
You both stand there for a moment, each waiting for the other to speak. What's up?
Yeah, well, Bliss needs you. A job just came in. A real big one. She's asking for you to come up and help her out.
He nods sagely. Okay. Soon.
Soon.
He repeats it back to himself.
Look, Bliss said I've got to get you right now, so you know...
He shrugs.
Now is better than soon.
Moritz stands there for a little while, unsure if the message is delivered. I've got it.
Cool, cool, cool.
He looks around.
Bliss just likes me to do a thorough job, you know?
He rubs his hands together before burying them in his jacket pockets.
See you, Sleeper.
Moritz ambles off down the corridor, kicking at a filter cap on his way out. Time to head to Bliss's Bay then. Ah, such chill music. I love it. Alright, we will head to the bay. But I think we got more pressing matters here with Ankita. You spot Ankita on the track to the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you as she approaches. Neither of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale. Her hair is tangled and clumps of dirt cling to her armor. You both eye each other. I think we're gonna stay silent, maybe. Sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for what happened. Truly, I am. She looks down. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this, when all you've shown me is kindness. She rubs her face. I'm sorry. Now, part of me wants to stay silent, but I bet trying to gather up that apology for a stranded mercenary like her is probably really hard, from what we've seen of her personality so far. It's okay. She nods, and then looks up to the stars. I've never... She stops herself. Thank you. Ankita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for... She grimaces. Look, can you come with me? It's easier if... Lead on. Ankita leads on down the dirt path between the pillars. There's a wind passing through the Greenway, a quirk of the air currents the biosphere maintains, and it ruffles the leaves softly. The sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. You try not to think of the last time you were here. You've been trying not to think of it for the past few cycles. The image of the sleeper, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mind, has been hard to forget. You realize Ankita is leading you back there, back into the drum at the center of the stack. You pause, trembling a little at the threshold. She turns. What are you doing? She looks at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks, green and wet, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankita, suddenly so small under this hulking ruin, the smallest she has ever looked. She places the box down. Well, we've come this far. Follow her in. You follow Ankita into the stack through a low tank, entering the drum at ground level. It's just as beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the apertures of the tanks for the glint of a weapon, or a shadow among the moss. Ankita stops, and you look down. The mossy island at the center of the tank is clear now, the equipment cleared away. In its place is a mound of dirt, loosely covered with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight, half buried in the dirt at the grave's head. I buried them together, Ankita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton, about the sleeper. Well, let's go ahead and ask about Ankita first and then see if we can get some info. How long did you know him? She takes a moment to respond. And for a moment you think she won't, but then the words come gushing out. He signed on a while ago. He used to run recon for a corporate outfit, but he got sick of the pay. He joined the crew as a sniper, and the first few jobs were a breeze. He was so cold, disconnected. He always hits his marks. Last few jobs, though, he was different. I noticed that. We had a period of extended shore leave on the eye, and when he came back, he was changed. Assumed he just had too much time off. He was right. I never would have given him the ship mind. I wouldn't have believed him. I've had crew members double-cross me, undercut me, rat me out. That's the business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. This is how we die. Alone. She stops, not sure of what to add. It seems like she's reaching for something, but she can't quite get there. You feel that gap between you, and as you do, it widens. The water drips. The moss trembles. You both stand in silence for a while longer. You both feel it. Life creeping back in. The silence ending. Ankita shifts her weight and then starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to be back out in the open space of the Greenway. To be away from this place forever. You stand outside and breathe the fresh air. You stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Ankita from somewhere behind you. You try to think of something to say, but you can't. Ankita puts a hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her. At least take this. She forces a handful of cryo chits into your hands. It's what I owe. She looks at you desperately. You look down at the metal bars. Ugly little things, you think. It seems like the only comfort we could possibly give her for this whole situation is to take the money. I don't know what dropping the chits would actually do. But we have to think about this pragmatically. We need the chits to survive. She needs us to take the chits in order to move on. So you know what? I think we're going to take them. You take the chits and turn without saying a word. You continue up the track, and she does not follow. As you walk up the rise, the wind picks up and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. The chits are heavy in your pockets, and you hate them for reminding you of how little a life is worth. Achievement unlocked, the bad end. I wonder if there was a way to end that in a positive fashion. And we got one upgrade point. Would you want to... Yeah, let's go ahead and up our endure. Aha. So now we have +1 to all of our rolls, which is nice, and will definitely help out. Okay, let's go talk to Bliss. This is a busy, busy day. I just figured that was a little bit more important. And now we have 236 cryo, which is not bad. Okay, Ember's Wake. Ember's Wake contract. Somehow Bliss swung a tanker contract, but the catch is that the work needs to be turned around too. Or turned around fast. Too fast. Sealing the leaks. The tanker's crew have detected a set of leaks, and they need to isolate and seal them as soon as possible. That's where you come in. Alrighty. So... let's go ahead. Fuel system flush will lower our condition a bit. We've got money for another syringe if we need them. So let's go for the big... Oh, this is a critical action. Oh, this is a one-time thing. Alright, no risk it, no biscuit. Yeah, okay. Good stuff. Now, let's... So we'd have to do this perfectly each day. You know what? Let's go ahead and help out a little bit more. There we go. Then we can take care of the rest tomorrow. I like it. That's a good way. Hopefully Bliss understands that. Capsule is going good. Nothing in here. This is like those little capsule hotels that you see in like Tokyo. That's cool. Down to the Descender. I thought we were going to get a little bit more story, but nope, right to work. Speaking of work, we have got Yannick's ward. Emphasis almost ready for us. Overlook. Do we want to go ahead and finish the Sidereal Bridge? Let's go ahead and re-roll our stuff. There we go. I don't know why I'm leaving that. Yeah, we'll do one thing over here. Mushroom Groves. How are we with the aviary? We're halfway done with that, which will give us a nice home. Can we go ahead and finish up our... Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this up. For the grow beds. The dirt of the damage is rich. How did the commune manage to establish such a good biome here? You wonder on it as you work. Communist achievement unlocked. Bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum. Insert Command and Conquer Red Alert 2 theme. Commune sleeping quarters. Oh crap. Okay, well, now we got another home, if we want it. But then we've got the... We've also got the aviary next door, though. Oh, you know what? That may not be... That might not be a home. That might be something else. Rico, commune botanist. Someone new. You head down into the Hypha compound, following a blue painted line that's labeled Laboratories. The member you were assigned to work with told you they'd asked to see you. but you still have no idea what about. The line takes you to a blue door, and through to a glass-roof chamber where a network of stems and leaves filters the sunlight coming through the ceiling, casting the whole chamber in a strange yellow-green.
Peaceful, isn't it?
Distracted by the green, you miss the woman standing at a lab bench, camouflaged by the dapple light.
Welcome to my sanctuary.
She smiles.
Come, let's talk,
she says and beckons you closer. Who are you?
Of course, my apologies.
She offers a hand to shake.
I'm Rico. I run the botany program at Hypha.
What is Hypha? She looks surprised.
You've been working in the compound for a while now. I'm surprised you don't know more.
She lifts a tiny sample jar. Yellow spores dance inside.
Hypha lives off the land of the Greenway. It's what allows us to live like we do. No one here pays or is paid. We sleep here, we feed each other, we work for each other.
Rico walks away from the bench and waves for you to follow. She opens a small door and leads you down a glass corridor surrounded by vivid green.
All this,
she says, gesturing at the overgrowth,
is a kind of miracle.
She looks at you with bright eyes.
What do you think usually happens to plants on stations like this when they're abandoned?
They dry up.
Exactly. They run out of water, very rapidly, in fact.
She leads you left at a crossroads.
But here, they endured.
She smiles to herself.
Actually, no. They thrived.
You look at the bright tendrils wrapped around the metal frames of the corridor. They look dominant, strong, like they're taking control of this place. Rico continues.
Of course, Solheim tried to create a stable biosphere here, patchworking the surface with gardens and algae tanks that feed into a network of microbial reclamation systems. But the Greenway was always envisioned as extractive, a place from which the harvest is removed and sold to those living on the station, not a closed loop. For this reason, when the collapse came, the Greenway should have gone with it. Erlen himself was so convinced of it that his first colony never even came here to try to reclaim it. The Eye instead relied on outside favors and influences, shipments from the inner system, and small-scale agricultural systems like kelp and fungal farm stacks. And yet here we are, among growth and decay, a biosphere flourishing. When Hypha came here, we expected to find only vacuum-dried stalks and leaves, and perhaps some fungal colonies hidden in the mulch. But we found a jungle.
With this, Rico hits a button on the wall and leads you through a large pair of double doors into a huge, impossible chamber. It's like the Genesis device in Wrath of Khan. It is every kind of green, from the pale algae tanks to the dark vines that surround them. It's wet, too, a rarity on the Eye. Condensation clouds the light from the high glass roof and gathers on the shiny, broad leaves of shrubs. How?
That is exactly our question.
Rico turns to you, visibly excited by the room you're both standing in.
It doesn't make sense, but in many ways the system has stabilized. Unlike the farm stacks closer to the gap, who need input to support their meager output, this place runs itself. Perhaps Solheim managed something new here. Perhaps they tweaked the plants or built new systems buried deep below us. Or perhaps their collapse caused some fortunate cascade, an unlikely chemical reaction within the biosphere. That's what I'd like you to help me find out.
She turns to you, her forehead wet with dew. Me?
Yes, you.
Rico sits on a railing.
These halls run deep, sleeper, and I'm getting old.
She stamps her foot on the metal grating of the walkway.
Whatever is causing this, it's to be found in the groves deep in the Greenway. Hypha won't spare anyone for an expedition. It's too dangerous and unnecessary, they say. I could make a case, but I can't get the votes. You sleepers are hardy beings, I know that much. And you can speak to the eye, uncover its secrets in ways I never can. She holds out an arm so you can help her stand. Bring me samples. Spores, seeds, and blooms. I can grow them in the lab and study them. The deeper they're found, the better. I'll try. Thank you, she smiles. And thank you for listening.
Rico leads you back out of the huge chamber and up through the passages. She's a little slower now and stumbles on the steps. You help her where you can.
It's good to have new blood in the commune, she says. Many of us have been here a long time, and few come through.
She settles back at her bench in the lab, stretching her legs. You go to leave.
Come back if you find something, sleeper, she calls. There are discoveries to be made.
And you follow the blue line back up out of the compound, all the time thinking of that impossible, magical green. Well, that was wholesome. And we have a new drive. And we are out of time for the day, guys. So in the next episode, we'll go ahead and use that last 5 dice that we have, get some food, and some new avenues have been presented to us. We'll have to figure out what to do with them. But I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.